Hi, my name is Marc from jazzguitarlessons.net. So today I'd like to discuss practicing, probably mostly for jazz guitar beginners, devising a practice routine, but also for intermediate players that are looking to buff up their playing by learning new stuff. So this is just a general overview. We won't discuss any guitar matter, but this can be very helpful. My best advice is to take pen and paper, take notes, and actually go through the motions. And you'll be able to devise your own routine. It's going to be great, and you're going to show improvement in the next few weeks and months and years, hopefully. Of course, practicing means that you want to make the most out of material that you find in books or from teachers or from different CDs or even the material on jazzguitarlessons.net. So here's how I go about this. The process is called GTHRL. G is for goals, T is for topics, H is for habit, R is for routine and material, and lastly L is for logging. So here's all of these steps individually now. So the first step is the goal setting, the big G. So no one practices for nothing. You don't take your instrument every day just for fun. Well, you do for fun, but you're trying to make progress. So you have to have clear goals in your mind. How would you like to sound? How would you like to play? Is your favorite jazz guitar player Wes Montgomery? Or you really like sax solos? That's really yours to decide, but it has to be clear what you like. Write it down on a piece of paper. And hopefully you can even say, in 5 years, I wish I can play like this. It doesn't mean that you'll reach that point. You might change your mind along the way, but it doesn't matter. Write it down, take notes. Personally, I really like the guitar sound of Ed Bickert, and I like to learn from trumpet players a lot. So that would be my first step, my big G. The second aspect of devising your own practice routine is the big T for topics. And topics, that's where you decide what you're going to practice in general areas. But before doing so, you have to assess your own weaknesses. By being realist, by being objective about what you can do, and especially what you cannot do yet, that's where you're going to find the best topics to practice. Usually the things you have the most problem with are going to yield the most impressive and quick success. So if you can't play in the key of B flat, and I start you on a routine for 20 minutes a day in 1 week, you'll be able to do it, that's for sure. So that's where you get the quickest results. So take pen and paper now, write down your weaknesses, your biggest weaknesses. Don't make a list of 50 things. It doesn't help. Maybe 5 to 10 things. Maybe you'd like to be a better comper. Maybe you don't know your scales yet. Or maybe you already know another instrument and you just like to find this knowledge on the guitar. So take some time to do it right now. The third step is the big H for habits. So what you have to do there is make sure that you create a routine that you can do daily. So there, also again, you have to be realist. How much time can you spend, honestly, focused and practicing 5 or 6 days a week? Or even 7, but I'll give you Sunday. Take Sunday. 5 or 6 days a week, how much hours can you put? If it's 2, it's 2. If it's 1 or even a half hour, your progress is going to be proportional to the amount of time that you put in. The fourth step is the big R for routines. So the routine is something that you devise so you do it every day for a long time. It has to be clear enough so you can stick to it. So say you've been doing this or that exactly for 2 weeks. And that's also where we choose specific material to work from. We started with bigger goals, big pictures, then we went to do, okay, what are my weaknesses? What are the topics I'd like to find out? And now finally we're going to choose material. So let's say you had the topic of scales. I'm weak on scales. Well, in the routine aspect of it, in that fourth step, you're going to say, I'm going to play scale in that key, in that position, using that type of fingering. That's what you have to do now. And even in the routine part of it, you have to make sure that you stick to something for a while, but you also have to be very specific. I'm doing this for 10 minutes today. I'm going to learn this from jazzguitarlessons.net on page 28 in that way. In this way you can have better control, which leads to the next step. Even before we move on to the next step, I have to add something. For beginners, part of your habit, of the routine that you're going to write down for yourself, has to contain 50 or even 75% of your time learning the instrument, which will be the topic of an entirely different video. You have to find where the notes are, you have to find where the chords are, where the arpeggios, and that's called learning your instrument, of course. In the first stages of learning, you spend more time learning the instrument and some time playing some music. The more you go, the more you progress, you can do less of that. My biggest advice, even to advanced players out there, you take the time to learn your instrument first thing. If you practice in the morning, do 15-20 minutes like doing your push-ups. You do your scales, you do your arpeggio, find what's hard. Let's say now I'm practicing D-flat melodic minor scale and I'm working on the third mode and I have a hard time. Well, I'm going to spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes when I start practicing. Then move on to the other stuff. If you've just started playing, say you have at least 3/4 of your time dedicated to learning the instrument. And finally, the fifth step is the big L for logging. This is the best advice of the whole video. Take a log, pen and paper or computer or anything that works for you, and keep a practice log. You're going to be amazed because you can do your planning, your little assessment, weakness, planning, goal, and everything, and take notes each day of what you did regarding your big goals. Of course, you always keep that in mind. And then once in a while, say once a month, you're going to go and write a little report for you. Oh, I practiced this, I really like this, I made some progress. Oh, you know, this exercise now I find that I don't progress anymore, I should change it to another key, or I should play it faster or slower. And finally, in the logging aspect of your practicing, you have to spend some time each week recording yourself, if you can. Usually you can record on a laptop or anything, a little tape player at home, whatever works. iPods have microphones now. Record yourself and listen to yourself, honestly. That goes back to a previous step where we chose the general topics you're going to practice, where you see that you have your weaknesses covered. Each week, listen to yourself play. Be objective. Don't judge yourself, don't smash yourself in the face, or don't give yourself a tap in the back. Just listen objectively. You're going to find out a lot about music by listening to yourself. So here's a quick wrap up. G for goals. Have big picture goals in mind. Think of how you want to play in 5 years. T for topics. Find what are your biggest weaknesses and decide on the general areas of your playing that you want to work on. General areas, not exercises. H for habit. Decide on how much time you can spend each day, honestly, 5 or 6 days a week, consistently. R, create a routine and stick to it. Create a specific routine with minutes and the specific materials that you will cover in your topics. L, log, keep a practice log for creating goals, routines, for reporting every month, and adjust your routines. Finally, you have to be conscious that if you pick a topic in the second step that's as big as learning scale, or that's as big as saying I want to learn to play better comping, you can devise 1,000 practice routines from the same big topics, because that's a material, the parcel of your playing that you decide to work on that will really create your practice routine. So from one topic, you can create many, many routines. Thank you for watching this lesson. I hope it helps you devise your own practice routines. Send me questions if you have any. Find me on jazzguitarlessons.net. Thank you.